Before we get to the latest Browns news and rumors, I walked into the office this morning and our Steelers Talk host, Jack Sperry, said, "Hey, Petey, I want to do a sub-battle between Browns Report and Steelers Talk, and the winner gets to slap the loser in the face with a tortilla." I don't want to be slapped, and I want to slap a Steelers fan. So if you want to see that happen, hit that sub button today to start the show. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Matthew Peterson, and on today's show, we got some fun things to go over. First, Daron Payne, could he be on his way to Cleveland? Also, Deshaun Watson kind of giving a big middle finger to all the haters and the doubters out there after a great second half in Week 17 against the Commanders. Plus, Browns Steelers Week 18 from Acrisure Field, whatever. It's F-Pit season, baby. It's coming back, so we're going to round out the show with that. Plus, we got some fun little nuggets planted throughout the show. But let's start with this here. Daron Payne, who is going to be a very big free agent this upcoming March, posted on Twitter after the game a picture with himself and Amari Cooper with the caption of, "Feel like a little kid, I'm geeked." So clearly Daron Payne grew up some sort of Amari Cooper fan. They both went to Alabama, so I can kind of see the connection. They did not overlap, though, at Alabama. And makes you wonder if he's such a big Amari Cooper fan. He goes, "I don't know how to live life without playing next to Amari Cooper. It is my life dream and goal and mission to go to Cleveland and play for the Browns next year," which I would love. When you look at the upcoming free agency market at defensive tackle, it's got some great names, don't get me wrong, but Daron Payne is the cream of the crop. For where he is talent-wise and his age, like Javon Hargrave, you can make the arguments having a better season. That's fine, whatever. But Daron Payne at 25 years old compared to Hargrave pushing 30, give me Payne every single day of the week. This year alone, he's an interior defensive lineman, and he has 11.5 sacks. Those are crazy numbers for someone who's not coming off the edge. And it really makes you think maybe for once, someone can alleviate some pressure from Myles Garrett so he does not have to face the highest double team rate in the NFL, and he can have 20 sacks, even when his pedestrian seasons are 14 to 15 sacks. My biggest fear, the thing that makes me wake up at night sweating, is that Andrew Berry did not learn his lesson from this season, and he decides, I'm still going to go skinny. I'm going to get that skinny pop. Skinny pop sucks. Do you like skinny pop? I don't like skinny pop. Get real popcorn. Get a real defensive tackle, Andrew Berry. Please get Daron Payne. Now, Daron Payne, there is a market value index over on Spotrac, and it has him going for a 5-year, $70 million contract with an average of $14 million. That is way richer than Andrew Berry has ever indulged on the free agent market for an interior defensive lineman, right? He cut Sheldon Richardson just to get away from even half of that kind of money. He didn't want to come close to it. So this would be a big step for Andrew Berry, but as much as I like him and as much as we love him, he's not perfect, and I do think he hopefully learned a lesson of if you don't do anything to stop the run, that's going to make a nightmare for your defense when teams find out about that. And then it doesn't matter how many guys you got. If they can just run up the middle, Myles Garrett can only do so much. I also want to revisit this tweet, by the way. So from Zach Jackson back in November, this is right after the NFL trade deadline passed. Barry was talking to the media and said, "We came close to one deal in terms of acquiring a player." And after that, we all kind of wondered, I wonder what player he was talking about. Some thought Brandon Cooks. I think it's Daron Payne, who, by the way, against the Browns on Sunday, had 2 sacks and 2 tackles for loss. I think those 2 sacks, when he kind of got off of Deshaun Watson, he gave him a little kiss on the cheek, and he goes, "Listen, I don't want any hard feelings. We're going to be on the same team next year. I just got to, put together some good sacks at the end of the season. That way Andrew Berry wants me a little bit extra." So hopefully Andrew Berry, watching the Browns-Commanders game, was looking at 12 guys on the field every time his offense was on, because he should be looking at Daron Payne, and he should be thinking about signing him this upcoming March. Now, what do you think? I'll let you guys be A-B here. Should the Browns sign Daron Payne? Sign or pass? Let me know in the comment section below. Next topic on the show, I want to talk about Deshaun Watson after a rocky first half, no doubt about it, but an excellent second half that let a lot of the Twitter haters out there pretty quiet, pretty good. Against Washington, 9 of 18, 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. But most of it, if not all, came in the second half. He went off for 146 second half passing yards, 32 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. I have zero concern with Deshaun Watson. I have never panicked. I have never even thought about where I put the panic button, right? It's so far in the back of my junk drawer, I don't even need to go looking for it right now. He's getting better by the week. The only time things did not improve was when he played in negative 20 degrees and was asked to throw it 31 times. Probably not the smartest thing out there, Stefanski. By making more and more incredible plays, continuing to just extend plays, and to the point of finally when NFL Plus puts the L22 out on Tuesdays, because those lazy fuckers don't do it on Mondays, we can actually get some real tape of the receivers getting no separation pretty much. I don't want to be Deshaun Watson's free lawyer and just give him excuses after excuses, because there's definitely been some boneheaded plays like passing to Jack Conklin was objectively hilarious. Now that they won, if they lost, it would have been a different conversation. But he's getting better by the week, and I have zero concerns. Now, I'd spent about 20 or 30 valuable minutes scrubbing through Twitter, looking for some bad takes people had on number 4 that they spoke a little prematurely, starting with Warren Sharp, who is an excellent football mind. He's one of the best in the biz. But Deshaun Watson is horrible. Look at the timestamp, by the way. 152, so you know that's right in the middle of the second quarter-ish. He's 3 of 8 for 23 yards. Just tried to throw a pass to his own lineman, got flagged for illegal touching. You can't make this up. That did not pan out well. What about Tyler Conway from Bleacher Report? Deshaun Watson's complete failure is the best storyline of the 2022 season. Yep, throwing 3 touchdowns to a win. That's a complete failure indeed, Tyler Conway. And then Cousin Sal, still fun in 2023. Watching Deshaun Watson suck. It's fun to look at those tweets and look at the timestamps and go, if only they knew what was coming in the second half. So if you believe Watson is the real deal, spam 4 down in the comment section below. I want to see 400 4s in there because I'm tired of seeing all the Twitter blue check marks and doves saying Deshaun Watson sucks without ever watching the Browns play and seeing he makes incredible plays all the time. This play calling has been putrid for most of his time at the quarterback position, and he's gotten very little run game until this past game with Chubb going off against Washington, and his receivers not having any sort of deep threat ability whatsoever. So stick it to the blue check marks, spam 4 down below. Next up, we got a big game this Sunday. Browns-Steelers, baby. The first go-around was awesome, and I'm hoping for the same result the second go-around. It has already been announced. It is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Could have been fun if it was flexed to Sunday night, but it's not win and you're in for Pittsburgh. They still need some help, but I would love nothing more than for the Browns to play spoiler. We'll talk more about that in just a second, but speaking of Deshaun Watson, if you're looking for a Deshaun Watson jersey, they're still on sale. I don't know if Fanatics just forgot Christmas was the 25th, but the sale is still running. So take advantage of it now. It's less than $100 for a legitimate, real Nike Deshaun Watson jersey. Get it today, chatsports.com/Watson jersey. That link I've got in the comments and the description of today's show. So following Sunday Night Football, Steelers-Ravens, watching the game. For the first time really ever, I was pulling for Baltimore. But I said I can't wait for the Browns next week to end the Steelers season. If you beat Pittsburgh, they are out. No ifs, ands, nors, buts about it. You can give Mike Tomlin the first ever sub-500 record, hand him an 8-9 season, the same as the Browns. You could sweep the Steelers for the first time since 1988. And best of all, and all the Steelers fans are going to act like Ben Roethlisberger was a saint, and they're going to forget that they were begging for him for months on end after Big Ben retired. You can show Steelers fans, because they didn't get to see Watson in the first go-around, oh, this is the quarterback that's going to dominate this rivalry for the next decade plus. We might be screwed. Sorry, Kenny Pickett. Nice throw to Harris, but get out of the way and let the big boys play. Andrew Filipponi, by the way, who is an all-time Twitter follower. He does a good job of following the Steelers. He is in make-believe land. He's not playing, you know how people say chess or checkers? He's playing Candyland in his brain about where the Steelers are right now. He called Pickens and Pickett the next Montana and Rice. And I love this tweet from September 8th. There is no way the Browns finish ahead of the Steelers. If they do, I will let someone kick me in the nuts in a public place as hard as they can for a good cause. I nominate Myles Garrett. I'm going to do that right now. Myles Garrett, this is like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I nominate you to go kick the Pony Express in the nuts after the Browns win. Do it in the media press box, right? Go up there, get all the Diet Cokes out of the way from the beat reporters, and kick him square in the balls like he requested, because the Browns will finish ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers with a win. And if you want to see the Browns beat the Steelers, spam F Pitt in the comments. The NFL kind of rigged our channel by having these two games so far apart because we went a long time without saying F Pitt, but we're bringing it back, baby. F Pitt down below in the comments. We had an awesome Week 17 watch party for the win over Washington, and I just want to show some love to those of you that went above and beyond during that watch party. So, the Super Chat MVP, William Elliott. In fact, Producer Jack, can we get my Twitter handle at the bottom here? I'll explain why in a moment. The Super Chat VP, the Vice President, goes out to Michael Misner. The Chat Chief, Kimberly Hurst. I think Kimberly did a good job of making sure everyone was in line in the live chat. Sergeant Likes, Ty Man the Buckeye. He was the first one in the chat and said everyone liked the video. So, Ty Man the Buckeye, shout out you. And then our pennant winner, James Boone. I'm still waiting to hear from you, James. Hit me up on Twitter at Matthew Petey. Comment on the video. Just get in touch with me. Get in touch with me some way, shape, or form, right? Smoke signal, write me a letter. I don't care. I want to get you that signed Browns pennant for winning it in our raffle at the end of the game. We also had some super thanks I want to hit on before we let you all go. Rob McCreary, super thanks. Your enthusiastic FU to the Blue Ticks caps off your typical great analysis and your passion for the game. Rock on, sir. Rob, thank you so much for the super thanks. Thank you. And then the Brown Tiger also with the super thanks. As the legendary MVP I am, any way you could do a video on potential hiring candidates for a special teams coach, since we all feel like Mike Prefer is done as special teams coach, I think it's a great topic to discuss. If/when Mike Prefer gets fired, remember, he came over from Minnesota. Him and Stefanski were buddies in Minnesota, so this would be a tough firing for Stefanski to fire one of his friends. But if he does get fired, we absolutely will do a Mike Prefer replacements video. Here are some early targets, though. I got some notes. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend that I know everything there is about special teams assistant coaches. But Raymond Vitrone, a familiar name, right? Browns legend, played for Cleveland about a decade ago. He has been the Colts special teams coordinator since 2018. You're going to have a changing of the guard there in Indy. He might be on the way out just because that's how regime changes go. I think he'd be a fantastic hire. Frank Ross is a younger guy. He's been the special teams coordinator for the last 2 years with Houston. I know Houston sucks right now, so they're hard to think of anything good coming out of there. Their special teams is actually really good. Craig Ackerman is the special teams coordinator in Tennessee. If the Titans lose to the Jags, I think they might have to blow up everything but Vrabel. So that could be a name to watch for on the open market. Some assistant special teams coordinators, TJ Weist and Baltimore. The Ravens are always the best at special teams. And that's mostly because of Harbaugh. But maybe you just try to steal some notes and hire their special teams coordinator. And finally, Matthew Harper, assistant special teams coordinator with the 49ers. He's in his second season of doing so. He was with the Eagles for a long time. He's been in the league for about 10 years. So those are 5 names, just an early list right there, some potential targets if Prefer is fired. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, making us a part of your day today. We'll sign off, and I'll see you all later with more Cleveland Browns news and rumors throughout the entire offseason with the best Browns YouTube coverage.